Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and I'm Madeline Brown. Today we're going to be talking about the history of the Love Canal Superfund site. Now, this may sound familiar because on the first day of lecture, Dr. Pinion mentioned Love Canal. Today, I'm just going to be going a little bit deeper into more of the historical background of Love Canal. So, from the beginning, the land was bought by a man named William T. Love. And Love's original intention was to turn the area into a model city. And he was going to do this by using the energy from the falls to generate electricity very cheaply. However, by 1910, Love's dream was shattered, unfortunately. His project just couldn't really withstand the fluctuating economy. In the 1920s, however, Hooker Chemical Company took over the land as an industrial chemical dump site, and this is mainly what Love Canal is known to be today. So Hooker Chemical dumped their chemicals into Love Canal for about 30 years. As you could imagine, that would accumulate tons and tons of chemicals, so after about 30 years, like I said, they covered the canal with soil and decided to sell the property to the city for $1, which is extremely cheap, but they did that for a reason. They wanted to get rid of this property and get this off their hands. So once the city acquired the land, they wanted to develop the area residentially. And they were going to do this, so of course they acquired the land for very cheap. They were going to make a lot of money by selling it to families and allowing them to build homes on it. So that's why they did what they did. By the late 50s, over 100 homes and a school were built upon the former dump site. And Love Canal was a great place to be until it just wasn't, honestly. Parents were noticing chemical burns on their children when they would come in from playing outside, which obviously is very concerning. Many of the mothers were experiencing miscarriages at extremely high rates. Congenital birth defects were very, very common there. And lastly, a lot of families had noticed leaks in their basements. So research was conducted, and later it was proven that the leaks were leachate from the chemicals at the former dump site, which is very alarming. So obviously, from all these complications and struggles they were facing in their neighborhood, residents were wanting justice. One resident in particular, Lois Gibbs, she researched the harmful effects everyone was experiencing. It was very personal to her because her son was born with a birth defect, so this made her very determined to find out what was going on, what was causing these issues. She later learned that the neighborhood was built upon a chemical dump site. She formed the Love Canal Homeowners Association, where they fought to raise awareness in the media of what was happening in their neighborhood, with the end goal of all the families being relocated. 1978 was a huge year as far as justice for Love Canal goes. A New York Times article was published, and I'll just read the excerpt I have. 82 different compounds, 11 of them suspected carcinogens, have been percolating upward through the soil, their drum containers rotting and leaching their contents into the backyards and basements of 100 homes and a public school built on the banks of the canal. It was this New York Times article that gained the whole Love Canal situation nationwide attention. And it didn't even take a week after this article was published for President Carter to approve emergency financial aid for the families of Love Canal, giving them the resources they need to relocate. Once the families were out of harm's way, Love Canal moved on to their next objective, which was cleanup. Love Canal was the first Superfund site placed on the National Priorities List. And by Superfund, I'm talking about the trust fund that was established to provide financial support for handling the cleanup of emergency waste sites like this one. CERCLA was actually developed as a direct result of Love Canal and Lois Gibbs' advocacy as well. CERCLA, I should have mentioned, CERCLA is the technical term. Superfund is just the more commonly known. They are one and the same though. So CERCLA holds polluters responsible for a portion of the cleanup costs, which prevents future incidents like this from happening. So cleanup at Love Canal was a very lengthy and costly process. It took about 20 years and $400 million before the cleanup was complete. Years and years worth of construction took place at the cleanup. You can see in the image I have on the PowerPoint a visual description of what's happening. But all 20,000 tons of chemicals are now contained in this special landfill with impermeable liners. The landfill is also capped with clay to prevent leachate from rainwater, groundwater, etc. And it wasn't until 2004 that the cleanup site, or the Superfund site, was declared officially clean by EPA officials. Today, Love Canal looks a lot different than before. It is just a bare lot surrounded by a chain link fence. Continuous monitoring takes place here through the EPA and also the company that bought Hooker Chemical, who was held responsible thanks to CERCLA. The neighborhood surrounding the site was renamed to Black Creek Village. Some residents of Black Creek Village are a bit wary, I'd say, of living in such close proximity to tons and tons of chemicals, but most of them feel like the issue is completely under control. The EPA is still involved to this day, and they do a great job at protecting the safety of human health and the environment here. Here are my references, and thanks so much.